Hello guys and welcome back to Planet 40k and our countdown to Christmas Eve. Now, we're carrying on with our videos, of course. The Tyranids and the Necrons are going at it every single video. And today we're going to look at the Forgeworld units. Now, they're not commonly selected, partly because of the price they cost. When you have to buy them from the Forgeworld website, they're quite expensive. So they're not necessarily that commonly used. But we're going to go through what my top units are from both the codexes, from Tyranids and Necrons. So let's begin with the Tyranid options here. So we have got 4 options for the Tyranids. We've got the Hierophant, we've got the Harridan, we have then got the Scythed Hierodule and the Barbed Hierodule. That's the 4 options from the Tyranid side. Now the Necrons have actually got 5 options, so if you want to call it an unfair advantage, you can do so. I can only work with what I've got here. So the Necrons have got the Canoptek Acanthrites, the Tesseract Ark, the Seraptek Heavy Construct, the Canoptek Tomb Sentinel, and the Canoptek Tomb Stalker. So I'm going to give you my top 9, if you like, in order. And then, of course, there will be a winning unit at the end of the video. Let's get into my number 9. So number 9, I've gone with the Hierophant. Now this thing is 810 points. It is a pricey boy. It's a big boy as well. Yes, it's toughness 14. Yes, it's got 30 wounds, 2 up, 5 up. It's a bit of a tank. And it's got a lot of weaponry. The Bioplasma Torrent, you've got the 2-dia bio cannons, the Lash Whip pods. There's lots going off here. Melee and range. You can add 1 to hit rolls if the unit they're targeting is battle shocked. And stalking forward allows them to go over terrain that's 4 inches or less, because of the sheer size of this thing. It actually is a transport option for 20 Tyranid infantry models, which I think is quite cool in a way, but I don't think we need it. I don't think we really need it. I mean, a lot of our Tyranid units are quite fast, or they've got infiltrate, or maybe deep strike with gargoyles and things like that. I don't think we need to be getting transported in. It's only the monsters that really need a bit of transport, just in case they get targeted early. So all in all, I'm giving this one number 9, and I'm going to move on to number 8. Now number 8 is another Tyranid option here. It's the Harridan. It's the big aircraft flying monster. Toughness 10, 30 wounds with a 3+ armor save. There's no invulnerable save, but you don't expect them from flying aircraft anyway. It's got the hover option, if you wanted to go into hover mode for the start of the game. 2 bio cannons and the gargantuan scything talons. Now they're pretty much damaged. They're strength 10 damage 3 at range. With blast, d6 plus 6 attacks as well, and that's 2 shots. You've got 2 of those, so that's quite a lot of shots coming out. And the gargantuan scything talons is strength 14, d6 damage, so that's pretty tasty. You put that in the Crusher Stampede detachment. That's going to do some work, of course. It is also a transport option, but this time it is for gargoyles and the Winged Tyranid Prime. Gargoyles do not need a transport. They're one of the most rapid units in the codex. They've got deep strike, they're moving 12 inches, they're moving after doing their shooting attack, so they can be deep striking them in, shooting and moving in, so that they're only 3 inches away. They do not need a 610 point transport, basically. And they're only cheap anyway, so you don't need it. But yeah, I'm going to move on, because I think I've said enough about the Harridan. Number 7, we are going to talk about the Necron side now. We've got the Canoptek Tomb Stalker. I've never been a big fan of the Tomb Stalker. Now, it has been slightly bumped up because of the Canoptek Court. If it's within its power matrix, it's going to be re-rolling all the hit rolls, and if it isn't, it's just re-rolling hit rolls over 1. That's not bad. I mean, the weaponry, you've got the Gore Slicers with lethal hits, 8 attacks, hit strength 5, -1 AP, 1 damage. It's alright, it's not the best. Melee, you've got 6 attacks, strength 6, -1 AP, 2 damage. Again, it's alright. It's 130 points there, that's what makes it not that great. Has an invuln of a 4+ with 9 wounds, so it's like a light vehicle really. But when you compare this to like a Horus Vex or an Exocrine, for example, they're not really on par. They do have deep strike, and they can use heroic intervention for free. And you can add a Gloom Prism, which is a 4+ for no pain save against psychic attacks. I'm never really a fan on that kind of stuff. Psychic attack only, it's not great. But yeah, 130 points. I like vehicle. Bit more of a kind of like a a Tyranid, well, kind of like a Necron version of a Canoptek in a way, like a scare Canoptek, except nowhere near as good. So that's why that is at number 7. Number 6, I'm sticking with Necrons. I've gone with the Tesseract Ark. I always get mixed feelings about the Tesseract Ark every single edition. And this time I'm still not sure. I mean, it's cheaper than it used to be. It's 130 points. Again, it's a light vehicle kind of level. It's got toughness 9 with 10 wounds. It has a 4+ invulnerable save, which makes it decent. Gravitational field ability, so when an enemy selects this unit as an object of a charge, it's -2 to their charge roll. That's not bad. It's got a lot of weapon options, a Gauss Cannon, Particle Beamer or Tesla Cannon, and then you get the Tesseract Singularity Chamber, which is now only 2 profiles, not 3. But one of them is the anti-Space Marine kind of weapon, which is like a D6 +3 attacks. It's a torrent to auto hit, strength 6 -1 AP 2 damage. I do like that weapon. Only 12-inch range though, but you know, it's a torrent, what do you expect? And the big seismic lash option, which has blast, 36-inch range, D3 shot, strength 9 -3 AP, D6 +1 damage. I think strength 9 isn't enough. I mean, Tyranids know all about strength 9. If you're going to do some damage on vehicles and monsters, you need it to be 10, 11 or 12. 9 just isn't quite there. I mean, even if this thing was firing at itself, it would need 4s to wound. It's not enough really. But it's 135 points for a vehicle that can fly. It's okay. I just wouldn't select it this edition. Moving down into number 5, I'm sticking with Necrons. It's the Canoptek Tomb Sentinel. Now this is much better than the Stalker because of the range weapon. I'll go through that now. So it's got the Exile Cannon. It's got blast with this Exile Cannon. Only 18-inch range, but this thing does move 10 inches. D6 +1 shots. Hitting on 4s, strength 10, -2 AP, 2 damage. I think that's an okay weapon. You're likely wounding, well, anything toughness 5 or less, you're pretty much wounding on 2s. You're hitting on 4s, unfortunately, because it's Canoptek. But if you're playing Canoptek Court, you could be re-rolling 1s or re-rolling everything to hit. You could potentially add devastating wounds with the eradication stratagem if you wanted to. That's going to be quite handy. I think it used to be more of an anti-vehicle and monster kind of weapon. I think it had D6 damage before. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's now only damage 2. But I think in the Canoptek Court it does work. And it's only 115 points. It's got Deep Strike. And the Aggressor Guardian, each time an attack targets this model, if we're on an objective, so if the Necron unit is on an objective, you worsen the AP by 1. And in addition, each time this model makes an attack that targets a unit that's on an objective, you improve the AP by 1. So those Exile Cannons can be -3 AP, which is lovely. They've also got 6 attacks in melee, strength 6, no AP, 1 damage. I think it's more about the range weapon here. The Gloom Prism is another option against psychic attacks, I feel no pain save. But yeah, that is my number 5, 115 points. I think it's okay. Now we're on to some big Tyranid stuff. We've got the Scythed Hierodule. This is the melee version. There's the Barbed Hierodule, which is more the range one, and this is the melee one. So the Scythed Hierodule, 330 points. It's a bit of a... They're quite pricey in the Tyranid Forgeworld units. Yeah, 330 points. Toughness 12, not bad. 2 up armor, not bad. 18 wounds, not bad. It's got the Bio Acid Spray, which is 3d6. It's a torrent. Strength 6, -2 AP, 1 damage. So it's absolutely flaming the hell out of, toughness 3, 1 wound models, light infantry models. It's literally just annihilating them. That's not bad, but bear in mind we said this is the melee version, so that's at range. The melee side of it is the Hierodule Sliving Talons. It's got 10 attacks, hit on 3s, strength 14, -2 AP, D3 +3 damage. That's quite nasty. That is actually really nasty. I know it's 330 points, but 10 attacks with that. I mean, even if that attack's a monolith, a Necron monolith, you're wounded on 3s with your 10 attacks. -2 AP puts it on a 4+ armor save. Then each one is D3 +3 attacks, so an average of 5 damage. So an average of 5 damage per one that goes through. That's not bad. They can also fall back and still charge. And as we already mentioned with the Bio Acid Spray, if it gets tagged by some little infantry units, you can spray that crap out of them and they're done. I think it's decent, so that's why it's my number 4. Number 3 is the Barbed Hierodule. So it's basically the same thing. This time it's more about the shooty stuff. So it's still got the Hierodule Sliving Talons, although there's only 8 attacks now, not 10. So it's slightly worse, but that's still good, right? That's still decent. But the ranged weapon is the Biocannon. It's D6, well, it's 2 Biocannons in fact. It's got Blast, 48-inch range, D6 plus 3 attacks per Biocannon. So what's that? Is that an average of 13? Is my maths gone right there? I think that's an average of 13 between the pair of them, but you've got Blast as well. So if you're firing at the right target, and that's times 2 because you've got 2 of them. It's hit on 3, strength 9, minus 2 AP, 2 damage. So a nice standard infantry size kind of weapon. I think that's decent. And in the shooting phase, after this model was shot, select one enemy unit excluding Titanic models that was hit by one or more of these attacks, and until the start of your next turn, while this model is on the battlefield, the enemy unit is suppressed. While this enemy unit is suppressed, each time they make a hit roll, it's a -1 to hit. So not only are they doing a lot of work with their ranged weapons, with their melee weapons, but they're also suppressing enemy models. They're still toughness 12, 2 armor save, and 18 wounds, 340 points. So in fact, it was 10 points more than the Scythed Hierodule. But both of them are kind of on par for me. I think they're both pretty good. I think I prefer the Barbed option though. You've got that 48-inch Biocannons. On to number 2, we're going Necrons, because as you probably worked out, we've done with all 4 of the Tyranid units. Necrons, we've got the Seraptek Heavy Construct. Now, before filming this video, this was my number 1 when I prepared the videos, but that was before actually getting the codex. And after looking back over my notes, I thought there's something better now. But let's go over the Seraptek Heavy Construct. 540 points, and it is expensive to buy. We know that. I think it's on the Warhammer website now. I think it was £210 or something like that. That's in British pounds. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. It moves 10 inches. I mean, it can do everything. I'll tell you why. So it moves 10 inches, so it's pretty quick. Toughness 12, not bad. 3 up, 5 up in terms of the save. 24 wounds. It's got a lot of weapons here. There's options. So we'll talk about the options. It's got two singularity generators, which is the option I would actually just select. So maybe we'll just go through that for now. Blast and dead wounds are attached to this weapon or weapons. 36-inch range, 2d6. You've got 2 of these, don't forget. That's an average of 14 plus blast. Hit on 3, strength 10, minus 3 AP, and the damage is 4. Just 4. Dead wounds on top. That is brutal. That's the weapon I would select. You can change these weapons out for 2 synaptic obliterators and 2 transdimensional projectors. So you're actually getting 2 of each of the other weapons. The other weapons are more... I don't think they're as good. So the synaptic obliterator, sustained hits 2, 8 attacks. You got 2 of these, don't forget. So that's 16 attacks with sustained hits 2. Hitting on 3, strength 5, minus 1 AP, 2 damage. To an anti-marine weapon again. And then you get 2 transdimensional projectors, 2 shots each. So it's only 4 shots. Hit on 3s. Strength 24, don't get me wrong, that is very good. I don't think I've seen anything as big as that. Minus 4 AP, D6 plus 4 damage. The fact that you've only got 4 shots with this makes it... That's why I don't like it. Because the singularity generators, yes, they're only strength 10. I say only, strength 10 is still good. But you're getting a lot of shots there. There's a lot of shots and dead wounds on top and damage 4. That's why I prefer the singularity generators. And the melee side of it, you've got the Titanic forelimbs, which have strike and sweep. Strike has 6 attacks, strength 14, minus 3 AP, the damage is just 5. Slap, 5. That's brutal. The sweep profile, strength 8, minus 1 AP, 2 damage. So even Marines are getting slapped, and that's 12 attacks there. That's the weapons, the abilities. Anyone in the engagement range in the fight phase must take a battle shock test, and it can go over terrain that's 4 inches or less, very similar to one of the models we spoke about earlier in this video. But yeah, it literally does everything. It's a Swiss Army knife. It's just 540 points, and yeah, it's expensive in terms of your wallet. Let's move on to number 1. Number 1, I've gone with the Canoptek Acanthrites, which wasn't my number 1 when I prepared this video. I'll go through what they've got, and then I'll explain why I bumped them up. So they're moving 12 inches. They've got infiltrators, toughness 5, 3 armor, 2 wounds apiece. They're 85 points for 3, 170 points for 6. That's the 2 ways you can take the models. They've effectively got melters as their range weapons. They've called them cutting beams. Melter 2, 12-inch range, 1 attack each, hitting on 4, strength 9, minus 4 AP, D6 damage. Kind of standard as a melter weapon. The melee weapon is a void blade, which is basically like a power sword. It's There's 3 attacks each, hit on 4, strength 5, minus 2 AP, 1 damage. So they can defend themselves okay, and they can shoot with melters. Bearing in mind that they're quite quick, they've got fly, and they're beast and all that kind of stuff. They've got infiltrators, as we mentioned. In the shoot phase, after this enemy unit is shot, select one enemy unit that was hit by one or more of these attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time a Necron's model makes an attack that targets that unit, critical rune rolls, you get to improve the AP by 1. I don't think that ability is all that, to be honest. You need critical boons just to improve the AP. I think it should have just been improve the AP altogether. But I don't make the rules. But why I bumped these guys up to number 1 is the Canoptek Court detachment, which Necrons now have in their new codex. There's the power matrix, so they're going to be able to re-roll all your hit rolls over 1. If they're within the actual matrix itself, they're going to re-roll all the hit rolls. And again, if you've got those cutting beam melters and you're re-rolling all your hit rolls, that's brutal. There's the eradication stratagem again, we mentioned that earlier, where you can turn on devastating wounds for the unit. You've got the reactive subroutine stratagem that allows the unit to move 6 inches if any enemy unit gets within 9. So if you don't want them in engagement range, you can move them back 6. That's going to make a charge extremely difficult. Or just move them onto an objective, whatever you want to do really. But they can fight if they wanted to. If they've got 3 attacks each with a 6-man unit, that's 18 attacks at strength 5. That's not the worst, it's not bad. I have made the mistake in past games where I've thought they were better in melee than they were, and I've thrown them in and I thought, you know what, now they can't shoot, they're melters. I've made a mistake here. So they're mainly about the shooting really. But they're going to interact because they've got that Canoptek keyword, so that detachment, I mean there's another one in there, another stratagem that allows them to basically have lone operative. A Canoptek unit can have lone operative for a CP. So they're going to interact, whereas all the other ones don't interact as well. So that is my top 9 in terms of the Forgeworld units for Necrons and Tyranids, and I've given the win to the Canoptek Acanthrites. Who wins this for you? Let me know down in the comments below. And tomorrow I will be doing I'm hoping it's going to go to plan. I've not obviously recorded it yet. I'm trying to get a bit of something else going for Christmas Eve. But yeah, I'll see you then tomorrow at 8 PM UK time.